On water usage and management, we have strict water withdrawal management throughout the state now. That's based on the Q710 requirements, which you'll see more of that here in a later slide. In this region, both the Susquehanna River Basin Commission and Delaware River Basin Commission have the approval oversight on this. In the other parts of the state, the DEP does. There's been significant water recycling by industry. One of the things that we've learned in Pennsylvania, because of the high cost of transporting water and utilizing water, we found it much more efficient to recycle, reuse the frac fluid that's returning. And that's basically been the grand savior, I think, to our industry from where we were, a year ago. Total water use remains a fraction of what is used by, other industries here in Pennsylvania. You can see on the far left here is how much is used for power generation in Pennsylvania. You see the numbers for industrial, public water systems. All the way on the right is what we're looking at for Marcellus Shale drilling. Now that number is based on us being able to drilling at somewhere in the range of 2,500 to 3,000 wells per year. So it's saying at that basis we'll be using 30 million gallons a day. Now part of that, at least 50% of that's going to be part of that recycling. So it won't be actual withdrawals from streams at that level. By contrast, to give you a feel for what that is in impact, that's about half of what's used to water golf courses here in Pennsylvania. It's also half of what one nuclear power plant on the Susquehanna uses. One plant uses 61 million gallons a day. Treatment capacity is adequate to meet our current needs. We have some of the POTWs, publicly operated treatment facilities, that can handle our fluids. Plus, we have a number of companies here in Pennsylvania that have sites, particularly in western Pennsylvania, mostly in western Pennsylvania at this point, to exclusively treat oil and gas waste. We're going to be looking at a lot more plants for the future needs. So we're looking at advanced treatment needed for the future, combination of technologies. We're looking at injection wells, crystallization, because our major pollutant, per se, is salt. That is the one thing that we can't remove under conventional treatment. We have to go to more elaborate treatment to get rid of the salt. And that's where the crystallization, advanced oxidation, membrane filtration, things like that are in development. And we're looking at other possibilities as they come along. The footprint of the Marcellus is immense. We're talking 95,000 square miles. It's going to take decades to drill all this. My kids and grandkids will be able to participate in Marcellus operations. I just wish this had happened back when I was 25 or 30 instead of, at the other end of my career. And this is going to depend on a lot of things at the pace it's going to happen. The market factors are primary. The price, competition for rigs are going to influence the activity levels. The pace is going to say, here's some assumptions I think is pretty interesting. It takes approximately 1 month to drill and complete each well with a continuous operation. In 95,000 square mile formation, if you assume 50% of it can be developed, you're looking at 47,500 drill sites, or 8 wells per unit's 380,000 wells. 16 wells drilled per unit, that's 760,000 wells. Now, with 500 rigs dedicated to Marcellus Shale play, that's what you would need to accomplish. And there are currently only 54 running. And at the peak, at the height of the Barnett Shale play in Texas, the most we saw was 225. So the probability is we will still be drilling wells here in Pennsylvania in the Marcellus for 100 years. Infrastructure concerns are a big concern to our industry. We need to develop gathering systems to connect the wells to pipelines. We need transmission lines to get that line to the get that gas to the market. We're looking at needing increased storage capacity for natural gas, because part of what we're looking at is a need to develop more natural gas markets, whether that's the natural gas vehicles that John Felmy talked about, electric generation, or simply displacing fuel oil, imported fuel oil in New England. So we're going to need more ability to deliver that gas. And we're looking at this use as a bridge fuel, replacing some of the current uses of coal to meet our environmental needs that we're looking at. So we're looking at huge jobs creation effort for both the service and support industries. And one thing I always mention with this discussion is traditionally you always see other industries moving into an area where a commodity is readily available. We have, with the Marcellus, a huge potential of natural gas. We have a huge reserve of coal in this state, and we have some of the most abundant water resources in the country, with miles of stream second only to Alaska. So the kind of industries that will use those things are going to be looking, in my mind, to relocating in here in Pennsylvania, creating even more additional jobs. Natural gas is the cleanest of the fossil fuel. There's no sulfur dioxide and 80% less nitrogen oxide than coal. Transportation potential, huge potential. We only have 8 million natural gas vehicles worldwide, 150,000 of them here in the United States. It's less than 2%. If we just convert intercity buses, for example, to natural gas, the impact on our imported fuel, imported oil, as well as our environmental conditions would be huge. Electric generation potential. I think there's going to be a lot of difficulty, excuse me, siting new power plants. Natural gas power plants lack the cooling towers that you see for a coal plant and nuclear plant. They're much simpler, they're easier to site, and I think we'll see a lot of that happening here in the United States. And it's going to be an essential fuel to meet our baseload needs. Economic impact. We've done some studies. A couple of professors from Penn State worked on a study that came up with the following economic values. In 2008, our economic value, $2.2 billion. By 2020, we're talking $13.5 billion. Job creation, 29,000 people, 29,200 people here in Pennsylvania currently work in this industry. By 2020, we're talking 174,000 people. And a key date that's mentioned here is 2014. 2014, we become a net exporter of natural gas. Right now, we only produce 26% of our gas needs in the state. Everything else comes from other parts of the country. So it's going to be a major, major impact economically to Pennsylvania. Job creation, this is a list of just some of the jobs we're talking about. There's going to be a lot of blue-collar work. I mean, that's one of the great advantages of this. Everybody who enters our industry doesn't have to be a petroleum engineer or a geologist. As a matter of fact, that's probably the smallest portion of the folks that we're going to be hiring. It's going to be a lot of blue-collar folks, welders, CDL drivers, construction experts. We're seeing things in wholesale trade, technical services, and up to a combination of food services and ag, forestry, fishing, and hunting. It's just a lot of jobs are going to be created because of this.